Everybody. This is Kim Griffin from the Mediumship Reading Room. And today I have Daisy Farrell from upstate New York. Daisy is a medium, and she will be talking to us today. Hi, Daisy. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing? Thanks for
I'm
having me again.
yeah. Okay, that's okay. Okay, so Miss Daisy, how did you get involved in mediumship?
Yeah. All right. So I will try to kind of make that as short as possible. But
Okay.
basically, kind of a long thing. But yeah. So I mean, I have psychics on both sides of my family. And I'm an only child, but so I was always I kind of when growing up, like I was aware of these things, and it was an open topic in my family, but it was not something that I thought I did.
Right.
And I mean the main thing is that I always had very vivid dreams as a kid. I still do. And I was very creative. I was a very weird kid. So I think I was always connected. I just didn't know that that's what it was, right? And
Right.
growing up, I definitely had my fair share of challenges. Like I said, I was definitely kind of a weird kid. I was very sensitive. And a big part of my story is addiction and alcoholism, because that's really what I ended up kind of dealing with going into my teens and in my 20s. And I think during that time I had some experiences, some paranormal experiences. I had some premonition dreams. And again, I didn't really think anything of it. I was kind of like, well, whatever, I don't know. I was just like, I didn't think it meant anything, I guess, more really. But
Right.
so I'm very lucky to say that I did end up in AA when I actually my first meeting I was 20. But I officially finally got sober, hopefully for the last time, when I was 22. And it wasn't until 2 years sober that I actually opened up to all of this. And it started really with I had gone through a very difficult time in my life, and I lost three, and it was three people within like 6 months, something like
Oh,
that.
wow.
Yeah. And it was during that time that I started to get visitation dreams. And I had never had them quite like that before. And they were different. They were different in the stuff that I had had, because it was very obvious that it was not for me. And it was
Right.
more like, you're going to listen, and this is a message for someone else. And I didn't really know what to do with that. I think
Yeah.
I just kind of was like, oh, okay. But when I would pass on these messages, it made sense to people.
Hmm.
And so around that time too, I started to have like really severe anxiety, and I was getting a lot of panic attacks. I just felt really odd, and I didn't know what was going on. And my therapist at the time actually suggested that I go see a medium to just kind of see what's going on. And I actually went to go see Drew Callie, who you know,
Okay.
and
Yes.
that was the first time I'd ever had a reading at all.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and so I was like, I don't know. And he basically confirmed like all of these things that I was experiencing. And he was like, you're a medium and all that. And I still, again, like I didn't know what to even
Mhm.
like make of that. And but I was still like drawn to it, So after a while, I actually found you, and I
Oh,
reached out
yeah.
to you, and I remember you were like so nice to me. You called me, and you were like so helpful, and you were actually the first teacher I really had. And I did like a beginner's class with you.
Right, right.
Yeah, and so I had never like connected awake. So I think that was the biggest thing. Like I was like, well, I've never done this like when I'm awake. It's always just been through dreams. So
Right.
I was very skeptical. I didn't think like I could do it. But you were the one that, you connected, you helped me connect for the first time, and I remember I was like shocked. I didn't even
Yeah.
understand. I was like, oh, okay. And it really, ever since then, I mean, just kind of took off for me. And but of course, there's a lot more to it than just that. There was
Sure.
a lot of things that went, a lot of ups and downs. I was dealing with a chronic illness at the same time. And around, I want to say it's almost about 2 years ago, my dad passed away. And
Mhm.
I had been very in and out with mediumship. Like
Right.
was doing readings, I was doing all these things, but I was also dealing with this chronic illness. And so I was kind of like in this in between for a long time with it. I did a lot of classes, I did a lot of things, and but then I wouldn't fully commit,
Right.
and I would get in my head, and because I
Right.
was dealing with a lot of neurological symptoms and like brain fog, all of that. So
Mhm.
I would get, a lot of anxiety about doing readings, and
Sure.
so my dad passed, and I finally was like, all right, enough is enough, kind of. I was like, I need to just make a decision,
Mhm.
and so I did it, and I'm really glad I did. And a big part of that was I was introduced to the Inner Spiritual Center in New Jersey.
Oh, that's right.
And
Okay.
yes, yeah,
Right.
and I actually did start that. It was actually a little bit before my dad got sick. Because I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I need more structure. I just need more support and something
Sure.
in person. And Sharon is amazing. I highly recommend her.
She is
Awesome,
amazing. And I
awesome.
just want to
Yeah,
insert that
yes,
she
yeah,
was one of my very first teachers when I went up to
yeah.
the Journey Within.
Hmm.
And even when she had left the Journey Within, I would still, call her or message her
Yeah,
about certain things that, maybe I need clarification. Not a psychic reading, but just
yeah, yeah.
clarification
Right.
on certain things
Advice or
to
yeah,
do with mediumship or whatever, an issue
yeah.
or something along that lines. But I remember one time I did go over her house for a reading, and it was
Mm.
really, really, it was a psychic reading.
Oh,
It was
cool.
really,
Yeah.
really, really, really good.
Oh,
And
yeah.
at the time I wasn't teaching, and
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, you're going to be teaching a lot." I'm like, "No, I'm
Yeah.
not." And she's like, "You are." And then she didn't know I was moving because I planned on moving. She had no idea. She goes,
Yeah.
"I literally see a foundation being built." So I'm like,
Uh,
"We're getting a house built in North Carolina."
wow.
Yeah, so she was great.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to go backwards a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I want to talk about the recovery or
Yeah.
the
Sure.
addiction part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I remember when I got sober, and then then I came out of the closet with the mediumship and stuff like that. So one of my friends had said to me, "Do you think you drank because of spirit, like you were trying to?" And I'm like, "No, I drank because I like to drink."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Right.
I don't
Same.
want to blame that on anything else but me. I'm
Yeah.
being held accountable. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
she did have a point. Yeah, and I never thought
Oh,
of
yeah.
it that way,
Hmm.
but I
Hmm.
seriously doubt that for me, maybe for other people. So
Right.
what's your feeling
Right.
about that? Do you
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think like that is the main reason at
right,
all,
right,
but I do think one thing, and I think we've talked about this before. I know that there is definitely, I find a lot of mediums are addicts or
oh, a
alcoholics.
lot of them.
You see it a lot. And I mean, and
A
I think
lot.
you look at it that way too, like even like artistic people or
Right,
creative people, people that like I feel like are tuned in, struggle in those areas of their life, and I think that for me, I think I was born an alcoholic. It's in my
right,
family, it just makes sense.
right,
However, I do think that that was a factor. Sure. I think it was maybe a little piece,
right,
but
right,
not the whole picture.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm sidetracking here, but I
Mhm.
remember though, if you want to do it on the other spectrum of it, I
Yeah.
think spirit actually, it was spirit, higher being, higher
Right.
power, God, whatever you want to call it, actually helped me get sober
Oh,
because it
yeah.
was putting
Yeah.
circumstances in my like in my way
Oh, yes.
where
Yeah.
they talk about circumstances rather than virtue, right? So
Right. Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
put down the drink or the drug, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what happened to me. Like, you're gonna have to do something, and God darn it, it happened.
Right.
2 weeks from when I said it in the exact same spot I said
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
happened. So yeah,
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I think and I like that point. I mean, I think that's a big thing for me is that AA is really that's what created my connection to spirit, really. I mean,
right,
because I was always, open as a kid and whatever, but I was not raised in like a religious home. I did not like spirituality was not a part of my life.
right,
And AA is really, that's when I had these moments. I had these big moments of like, whoa. what's happening to me? It's just, I
Right.
remember just like, I don't even know who I am anymore, and just these experiences of like, as I'm sure like, I mean, people that are in AA, it's like having your bottom, and
Right.
that was a very deeply spiritual experience for me, where I remember I was like in New Mexico at the time, and I remember just like sitting under all these stars, and
Mhm.
I was just like, all right, you win, I was just like, I
Right.
get it. I get it. Because
Yeah.
I was very resistant, for a long time because I was young, and I was like,
Right.
who has to do this young? Why do we, who wants to look at themselves this carefully and do all this work, and be this
Right.
young? I just want to like live my life.
Now, how
Um,
old were you when you got sober?
I was 22.
Oh, that yeah, that's young.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
but I was
10 years.
20 when I was 20 when I was introduced to the rooms though. So I resisted
Right.
it for 2 years. Like I was in and out and I relapsed a lot.
Right.
But finally I finally went for it, at
Yeah,
22.
I
Yeah.
was 32.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still young.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I mean,
Yeah.
I thought that was young at the time.
It is. It
I have a lot more partying. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm in my 30s.
is.
But yeah, but I wanted to say something about that. I remember being at I won't name the place, but I was at a place where there, because I don't want to blow anybody's anonymity, but I was at a place where there was a lot of mediums. Okay, it was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
mediumship workshop or something or whatever it
Mhm.
was. And this one particular person that I saw all the time that I knew, blah blah blah. That person came up to me, I have 30 years, and I said, I didn't know that. She goes, well, I don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
She was,
Yeah.
yeah, she was still like
Yeah.
embarrassed, or she still had this
Right.
she just thought, yeah, she just wanted to keep her anonymity and she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what she did say to me was, and I didn't know this, Bill Wilson, one of the founders
Hmm.
of
Right.
AA, had a spiritual awakening. It was really a
Yep.
spiritual awakening, and where he did see spirit, but
Yeah.
he was a medium. He was a psychic
Right. I
medium.
remember you telling me
Oh
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
did I tell you
Yeah.
that? Yeah,
Yeah. It's so
yeah.
cool. No, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and he even had, and people used to go to his house, and
Yep.
he had, they call it the spook room. So
Right.
I think it's in Vermont, right? I think his house is in Vermont. He had a
There might be
house.
another one. I know there's one in Connecticut. I'm pretty sure,
Is it
but I
Connecticut?
don't
Yeah, it's up
know.
there. But
Mhm.
if you go there, they call it the spook room where he used
Wow.
to do
Okay.
his readings, and people could look. And I bring that up because people that are
Yeah.
watching this, that might be
Oh,
in
for sure.
AA or whatever, might want to look that up.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
yeah. And no, and I think like that's the thing. I just AA and my whole experience in AA, because really, again, it was 2 years of working the steps, doing all these things. It taught me so much,
you're
just
right.
not only about myself and my connection to spirit and trusting all of that. And I mean, to this day, it always supports my work as a medium. And I'm so grateful
Right.
for it. I'm so grateful because to me, I'm kind of glad that it worked that way, because it was like I kind of did all that work before
Exactly.
developing. And so I wasn't so held back by all these kinds of, issues or confidence things or whatever, within myself.
Right.
I was more able to just kind of go for it. And have tools when things came up that upset me or whatever. I
That
have the tools.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
doing the inner work before you knew
Yeah.
you had to
It's
do
huge.
inner work. And we did it.
Yeah.
Or on the
Yeah.
road to doing that. And
Hmm.
just to interrupt a little bit, I remember
Yeah.
when I first got sober, I remember I couldn't look people in the eye when I was a server, and so I would have to tell people the specials and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I did never looked anybody in the eye.
Right.
I just
Oh
didn't.
yeah.
And so, going to AA, getting sober, going through recovery and all of that, kind of gave me the confidence again.
Oh
I
yeah.
would practice on people, looking them in the eye when I was doing the specials.
Yeah.
They were my practice people to like
Right.
look people in the eye. So then, as you go into AA, you go do speaking commitments, you speak in front
Yep.
of people. So,
Yeah.
okay, so you fast forward whatever,
Right.
20 years or 15 years, whatever it was. I go, I go to the journey within, and you're making us do platform.
Right.
And I was like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I do
exactly.
this all
I
the
know.
time. I speak in front
Yeah,
of people all the
whatever.
time.
Yeah.
I know what I'm
Yeah.
going to, the only difference is I know what I'm going to say when I'm in AA.
Right.
I don't know what I'm going to
Exactly.
say
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Oh, no idea. No, you're right.
Yeah, that was the only thing that made me a little nervous
Yeah.
connecting,
Sure.
but to be in front of people, that didn't bother me.
Same. I know it. No,
Okay.
it's really, really. I mean, it's funny. I had like a horrible anxiety of doing platform for a long time. But I think for me, it was a lot of that, like what I was talking about before. This kind of period I was in with like the chronic illness thing, where I got in my head, and
Right.
but then once I did it, then I was like, oh, I love this, and
Yeah.
it's fun for me, and teaching too, like all of those things. And AA, yeah, I mean that's a big part of they support each other. And like when I do a speaking commitment for AA or whatever, like it always supports that and just helps
Right.
me feel even more connected. And to me, it's kind of the same thing. Like I'm just trusting spirit, give me the words, right? It's like higher
Right.
power, give me the words, and I go with it.
So now what are you what are you doing now? Are you still affiliated with the inner, I'm sorry,
Yeah. Mhm.
the inner spiritual center? That's what it's
Yeah.
called, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So they do like basically you can kind of like you do year one, two, three, and advanced. But you can just keep going basically. And they're like it's like a year-long program. So I'm in my third year there.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, yeah. And so I do that, but I also work full time now in this work. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what do you do full time? What are your services?
Yeah.
You just do mediumship and psychic? What do you do?
Yeah, so I do psychic readings. I do mediumship readings on Zoom and in person. I do healing appointments. I do healing services. I teach. I do mentoring, and I do demonstrations. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
art. Oh, and art too, which I remember we didn't get a chance to talk about last time. But I also do.
Yes, that's what I
Yeah,
want to talk to you because I know you're an artist because I
yeah,
remember when you well, people wouldn't know this about you, but I know this about you. That
yeah,
you're a cake decorator. You're
yeah,
an
hmm,
artist. You
yeah,
do some fantastic cakes, I have to
yeah,
say.
yeah. They're fun.
Yeah, yeah, they are. Yeah, they looked a lot of fun too, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you apply that also with your mediumship as far as spirit art is concerned?
Yeah, oh, definitely. It's interesting. That was like a whole other thing too, where I actually stopped making art kind of altogether when I was sick. And
Right.
but I always knew that I wanted to merge the two, with my mediumship. And so really in this past 2 years, I want to say, I just started kind of coming back to it and really working on developing spirit portraiture, and just spirit-led art in general too. And it's really
Okay.
fun. Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
autographs? Do you do
Yeah.
autographs?
Yeah, I do those, and I'm still working on the portraiture thing because that's been
Right.
a quite a journey. Because for me, I'm classically trained, and so
Oh, okay.
it's been drilled in my head. You need to look at what you're drawing. So now
Right.
it's like, what? Now I'm like drawing
Oh,
in a different
yeah.
way. So it's kind of unlearning a lot of things.
Right,
Um,
right.
but it's pretty cool, and it's something that I mean I'm definitely diving more into currently. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So,
yeah.
so when you got into this, how did well, you said your family's pretty accepting of it, right? Your family was a-okay with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like basically I didn't tell my family for a while, like for a while. And I'm trying to remember when it was, but I finally I remember there was so many moments I wanted to like tell my parents and I held back, but
Mm,
then I finally just did when it kind of felt like organic, and
right.
they were supportive of it. I'm very lucky. I mean, I think my parents have always been very supportive of kind of whatever I want to do, and so I was lucky in that way. I mean, I think in family and friends, like some people, no, they don't get it, right? And
Right, right.
but I think that's such a thing, and I tell even like clients of mine that it's just there was such a long time where I didn't post my stuff on like my Facebook, right? Like I
Right,
would do it separately or whatever, or
right,
I would always just like lie about not lie, but I would just be like, oh, I do graphic design or whatever. Like I would just kind of like avoid the topic, if
right,
someone asks me what I do, and now I just don't. I just say what
right.
I want to say, and I think the biggest thing is that when I finally did kind of like come out, no one really cared.
Yeah, isn't
It's
that
like
funny?
no one really
Because
cares,
they really
right?
don't care. Like,
No,
yeah, whatever.
I know.
You do
Like
you.
really, yeah. I mean, most people really just didn't even care. I've had a couple things here and there, but nothing
Right,
crazy. And it's very freeing to be able to just be me,
right.
and just go with it. And I would say more often than not, people are curious. And
Sure.
if anything, it's kind of a cool thing. It like opens them up to something where they were like, oh man, I didn't ever feel comfortable talking about these things with people, and now I can, and that kind of thing. I find that that's more what you experience, at least in my for myself, but
Right,
which has
right.
been cool. Yeah.
Now, when you started mediumship, were you dating your husband at the time, or were you?
I was.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. So he knew from the very beginning.
Yeah, he did. I mean, well, but he was with me kind of through the whole process of unfolding it, and
Oh, okay.
because when we started dating, I did not do that,
Right, right. Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, and that's been really funny for him too because he was open, but he didn't like really understand it or really think about it, and
Right.
it's kind of opened up a lot for him as well, which has been really cool to watch.
Yes. I know
Mhm.
when I had told my husband, I told I was going to development classes, and I told him I was going to meditation classes.
Yeah,
I didn't tell him. I
right.
wouldn't tell him, And then I don't know what happened. I just told him.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
just went, "What?" Because I'm like, "What? What do you do? What?"
Yeah,
But then like he didn't make fun of it. He just like,
yeah,
I don't know if I believe in all that, but
right.
but I mean, I respected his opinion and he
Yeah,
respected mine, and that was fine. But over the years,
right.
he totally is very, very supportive and
Yeah, yeah,
and I've read his friends and stuff like that, which
right.
helped because then they come back to him and go, "Oh my God, Kim told me about
Yeah,
Papa."
right,
He's like,
right.
maybe she is pretty good,
Yeah,
maybe she
yeah,
is medium,
yeah.
So
I know.
yeah. So where can people find you?
Yeah, so I can put all my links in the comments of the video too.
Okay, that would be great.
Um,
That would be
yeah, people
great.
can friend me and my website. So I'll put all the things. I'll put
All the stuff.
yeah.
Okay. So now you're teaching and you're doing
Yeah,
that on Zoom, or do you do that in person or?
I do both. I do both.
Oh,
I'm doing a
okay.
little bit more for in person right now. I just enjoy it, but
Right.
I try to offer both. So yeah.
Okay. Well, it was great talking to you,
Yeah.
Miss Daisy, again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so thank you so much for rescheduling with me. And again, it was really great talking with you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.